welcome to this new series that I'll be starting on my channel, Have Roots Will Travel, La Cuisine de Gisele, Gisele's Kitchen. I wanted to honor my mother, Gisele. I was recently in Quebec and I realized or kind of remembered just how integral French Canadian cooking is to French Canadian identity. And I really want those of you with French Canadian ancestry to be able to get truly a taste of Quebec. So, with that in mind, I'll be featuring recipes and foods that go to the heart of French Canada. Please, if you have any suggestions or ideas for future episodes, please let me know in the comments below. I really want to have a variety of them. And I also want you to know that I'll be featuring a lot of the recipes and foods from a period of French Canada or a time called Le Réveillon, which is a Christmas Eve tradition. And basically, Réveillon means to awaken. So we await Christmas, Le Réveillon, and the birth of Jesus, really. And throughout the pictures that you saw prior to this, taken in the 1950s through 1970s, we would arrive probably around 5 o'clock in that ballpark, and we would stay up so late, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and there would be food upon food upon food, different courses. So you would have something at 9 and something at 11 and something at 3 a.m. for those of the people heading home. Finally, I would await the egg salad sandwiches. I would always ask my godmother, when are the egg sandwiches coming out? And they usually came out around 1 or 2. And so that was my big moment. And essentially, one of the dishes that was always there is la tourtiere, or the French Canadian meat pie. It is a very much a staple of French Canadian history, food history, but it's also something that we eat not just at Christmas, but throughout the year. It's the only dish that I eat with ketchup. So there you go. And to this day, I absolutely love la tourtière. And without further ado, I want you to see the recipe that Gisele had in her files. We'll start right now. So let's get to know tourtière a little bit better. It is, of course, the classic French Canadian meat pie. It's traditionally made with minced pork, veal, or beef, and often includes potatoes. In some regions, wild game or fish might be used instead. So, how did it come about? Well, the origin of tourtière dates back to when Quebec was still a French settlement, and when the British came after 1759, they brought a dish with them called sea pie, and this became tourtière. And in that dish, it had wild game and fish, and it gradually grew into something that is now Quebecois. It was first featured in the book, the first French Canadian cookbook published in Canada in 1840. Now, there are regional variations. In Lac Saint Jean, Saguenay, which is up north, they traditionally make a deep dish tourtière made with various meats, which often includes wild game and potatoes cut into small cubes. It has truly become an iconic dish of that region since World War II. Quebec City and Montreal have their own variations, and even within families and different towns we have variations, and they're made with ground beef and pork and this spice and that spice. And tourtière, as I've stated, is traditionally served at the Réveillon, the Christmas Eve, but can be served throughout the year. Even on summer's hot day, it still tastes really good. And we often serve it on New Year's Eve, which is also a very big holiday. And it has now become much more of a dish throughout Canada, and also has reached into the northern New England states as well because of the ancestry of so many of the New England French Canadians. And So tourtiere has become truly something that a lot more people are aware of. And one bite will tell you all you need to know. It's got that heartiness and that delicacy that really is French Canada. So let's get to see Gisele's recipe and find out what makes it so special. And here's the recipe for Giselle's salsa. We have a pound of minced or otherwise ground pork. We have a pound of minced or ground beef. We have 1 clove garlic minced, a half a teaspoon salt, a half a teaspoon savory salt, a quarter teaspoon celery salt, a quarter teaspoon ground cloves, half a teaspoon pepper, half a cup of breadcrumbs, half a cup of water, and pastry for double 9-inch pie crust. You preheat the oven to 450. You place the meat in a large pot, cover with boiling water, and place to and drain to remove excess fat. You add the garlic, the salt, the cloves, the pepper, and the water. You bring to a boil and you simmer uncovered over medium heat about 20 minutes. You remove from heat and then you add the breadcrumbs and mix it well. You cool the mixture and put it into the pastry lined pie plate. You add the top pastry and you bake it for about 25 to 30 minutes, and out will come the golden brown goodness of Giselle's tortilla. I hope you enjoy it. I know I always have. And always remember, I have all of them in the notes below. I have all these instructions and the ingredients as well for you to keep. And so ends our first episode of La Cuisine de Gisele. I hope you've enjoyed it. I have very much enjoyed getting and thinking about the past and all those réveillon parties and my cousins being there, and also the amazing taste of la tourtière. Until we meet again in La Cuisine de Gisele, I will say au revoir.